Okay, come on. YouTube, don't be a butt. Oh, so this was a good episode, though.
It was. It was perfect. It was just so well done.
Ah, there we go. Finally, we are live. Oh,
Speak for yourself.
oh. Well, I mean, live, generally speaking, of course. Oh, okay. So, okay, let me make sure. Okay, my sound's good, and your sound is good.
Well, of course, my voice is better than
Hmm.
yours.
Should just be on the safe side. I'm gonna do a split screen so I can see my software and the YouTube.
Ah.
Okay, I think. Okay, so okay, so it's just us. We're
Yeah.
we're alone.
Oh my.
Okay. Okay. Oh baby, I'm so sexy.
No, you're not. Stop lying to the stop lying to the people
Okay.
that aren't actually watching.
Let's see. Streaming, recording? Okay, let's see. How does Dex normally start this? Oh, yeah. The Orville, Season 2, Episode 8 and 9, Identity, Part 1 and 2. Huh, I figured further in the episodes. Okay.
Yeah, but don't forget there are also fewer episodes per season.
True. No, it felt like I've watched more, like at least 12 episodes or something.
Mm,
Okay. So, Isaac doesn't understand niceness. In stating the facts of his superior intelligence, they break Isaac and Finn are dating to the kids, though the elder already knows. Isaac writes
Isaac and I are seeing each other.
like
Yay!
so.
I knew
Yeah, totally.
it.
Isaac writes back to Kalon often about them. I mean, in a way that's kind of creepy, but also not.
Not really. I mean, he's taking notes on the important parts of his interactions, and I mean, he's writing home about his
And
girl.
I know technically speaking, he probably doesn't actually write to them, but I'm just imagining Isaac just sitting at a little desk with a pen and paper, just writing a little note and just mailing it off.
Dear Dear Kalon Primary,
Yeah.
today the kids were. Today Ty d- had his first concert. He was adequate, exceptional for a biologic.
Yes, quite exceptional. The kids are okay with it, but then sorry. The kids are okay with it, but then Isaac breaks down. Interesting for Finn, since it is more of an engineering thing than biology.
Yeah, it figures. You find a guy you really like, the kids like him, so of course he has to
Oh
come.
yeah, I mean,
Well, sort of.
that's like the most perfect way to get out of commitment.
Yeah, it's like we're together. It's like, yay! Ah, oh, crap. Time to die.
Kalon is way out of comm range. Interesting stellar cartography, building, and tech limitations. Though, how is he sending reports is a question. Well, he probably has a stronger,
Yeah, he
yeah.
has a stronger signal, and I mean, if they were able to turn him off, he clearly would have to be able to be within range to do
Yeah.
that. It's probably a kind of like a singular connection.
Yeah. Or maybe it was like an auto thing. It's like he already had a thing in his system that
Yeah.
was like, oh, hey, if you reach this amount of knowledge or whatever, it's like,
No,
do.
no, because they said
Oh,
they remotely told
yeah,
him
that
that.
is true. Um,
I love that. Let me take him down to engineering. Take him apart, poke around a little. Maybe I can fix him. This is not a broken race car. He's a sentient being.
they are, they're going their hopes of.
They are going there in hopes of fixing him and possibly deepening ties with Kalon to help them who are considering joining
Yeah,
the
that
union.
works out.
And I love it. I love the conversation with the admiral. Are you sure there's nothing you could do for him over on the Orville? Picture your mom trying to hook up the stereo.
I'm surprised they still hook up the
I
stereo.
I love that reference though. When he said
Like,
that,
oh.
my first picture was of Madeline Weston. You know, Mama Weston trying to hook up the stereo with her cigarette, and then Michael, I need you to come here. My stereo's broken.
They tried to tell the Kalon what is going on, but the Kalon shut down their power and tactical before scanning them.
Well, the it'd be a big win for us. We could use a strong ally against the Krill. Oh, the dramatic irony of that statement, considering what happens in the next episode.
True. Why didn't they include this tech at the later battle?
Maybe because that tech was
Only available on their planet?
stationary. Yeah, it was a planetary based, and they couldn't take it with them.
Yeah, fair point.
I the when the before they got to the planet though, when the kids were there watching over him, like you your friends will make you better, then you can marry mom and be our dad. That's just sad. Ty is just so already attached to him. Already sees him as a dad, and he just can't
I
understand
know. They didn't restore power and give them landing coordinates. That was very nice of them.
that. Captain, we're being scanned. Oh man, I bet this causes cancer.
Kalon is pretty cloudy. Cities are very dense with spires. Union has hovering repulsor lift technology used for the biobed. Cool. Fancy word. Kalon seem to have red lights instead of blue, useful for differentiating Isaac out. The red eyes may have also been off-putting for.
I had a similar comment. They all have red eyes on Kalon. Nope, not creepy or foreboding.
Yeah, the very second I saw one of them with red eyes, just like two that are just walking past, it's like they're bad.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Holy shades of turtle.
It's like nobody who has red eyes is good. They're bad.
Yep, pretty much.
They shut him down. He did not malfunction. He had completed his task. They should have expected the ship and not set the defense systems on them. They're just probably trying to act cool.
But first of all, they were expecting the ship. They only said that as a stalling tactic and to off-put them, not to be like, oh yeah, we could have blown you out of the water, but you're lucky we didn't.
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They weren't actually they didn't actually have their defenses. That also explained why they had all those defenses there, even though it really wasn't the case.
Yeah.
but they use that as an excuse for it.
I.
It's like he was shut down. He completed his mission.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you call a unit, we call a friend. Are there any chairs on this planet? Or considering they're all robots, I don't think they need chairs.
Yeah. Chairs just make you lazy. Okay. Shit. Oh.
Isaac has already accepted that he was leaving the Orville and the connections he's
Yeah, I
built.
know that.
No, I'm just reading where he left off on his. Seems like a problem given how the interactions messed with his subroutines before. Yes, but he's being shut down and reprogrammed.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it messes with his subroutines because he's basically, oh, my purpose is done. Time to be recycled.
Yeah.
Although it does leave me as having already, having seen it and knowing what's coming, their culture is very much the servitude of one another. So they still have a very strict hierarchy to the point of almost enslavement, even though they are not enslaved by biologics, they're enslaved by their prime, Kalon primary. So, I mean, their comment is kind of extraneous because they've kind of enslaved themselves.
Yeah. Kalon are skeptical of the pattern behavior of humans and are anti-individualist. Bit of Borg in there. Ah, yes, the Borg. One of the only Star Trek villains I actually know.
Really?
I know others too, but Borg comes to mind.
Yeah. But I mean, they pretty much are Borg or Cybermen. Even my mom, who doesn't know anything about Doctor Who or Star Trek, saw them and thought they were Cybermen.
I actually saw the same thing, but I'll get that in a second. They surprise Isaac with a going away party. Malloy sings a goodbye song.
He actually sings pretty well.
He does, but imagine if Bortus sung it.
Then it would cut to black. Why don't you come back for a few minutes and pretend that you care?
Bortus wanted a corner piece because he wanted a flower. Lamar handed him a piece of cake, so he couldn't discreetly get one.
Stoic, manly Bortus wanted a flower, but didn't want anybody to know.
I don't like flowers.
And actually, I had almost verbatim on my notes. But Kalon Prime sounded a lot like Q during Encounter at Farpoint when they were talking about the human pranks. And you humans and your barbaric nature.
To be fair, he did cut off his leg.
Yeah, but Isaac was trying to learn about humor. Our helmsman was only trying to help him understand. And then Isaac cut the guy's leg off, so mistakes were made on all sides.
Finn and the boy.
I can't believe they know about Mr. Potato Head. I know we're gonna get fired.
So fired. Finn and the boys say their goodbyes. He's given a hand-drawn picture by T.Y. and lets it fall to the hallway floor. Hallway floor. In what looks like a sudden, emotional moment.
I was thinking, the way I saw it, it was more of a dismissive motion, because he just literally let it go and dropped it. It was just like, he had it in his hands, he let it go.
Maybe.
There was no real...
Maybe he thought that if he dropped it, the kid would find it and then try to follow him.
I don't think so. No matter what your people decide about joining the Union, you've got a home here with us. Which is also really great foreshadowing to tie up the end of this second part.
The Kalons are building theta radiation weapons that the Orville sensors can't penetrate for some reason.
You're farther ahead. I'm still at the party on my notes.
I'm just reading Dex notes.
I know, but you're skipping further ahead than my notes.
Well, I don't have your notes.
I know, but I am unable to share your emotion, Doctor. However, it is appreciated. So that's the closest you can get to emotion with Isaac. It's like, I understand how you feel, and I accept it, but I don't.
To be fair, he has more emotion than I've seen in most people.
Yeah, and I mean, he's very Vulcan-like.
True.
Hey, what was that? What was that Chilean drink Tala made? I don't know, but I threw up. Dude, I threw up too. You should have called me. We could have thrown up together.
Huh. Yeah, he is kind of Vulcan-like. He's kind of like what happened if you were to take Data and Spock and put them together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least Ty isn't afraid of heights, because that was a long drop down that tunnel.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It feels like they're stalling, doesn't it? Stalling? Why? I don't know, but a highly advanced race of AIs can't make up their minds. Join or don't join. It's a simple binary choice. Exactly. And a binary choice is the most basic computer function there is.
Now, the Kalons are building theta radiation weapons that the Orville sensors can't penetrate for some reason. Lead shielding.
Only if they're Superman.
True. Now my question is, I've heard the term theta radiation. Now, is that a real thing, or is that only used like in sci-fi?
I don't know, but I know gamma radiation is real.
I kind of.
And the radiation is generally uses Greek alphabet, so it could be real. And I could tell you in a second.
When I see theta, it kind of makes me think theoretical radiation.
I can tell you in a sec.
How is my stream health not strong? Whatever.
Because you really need to work on your, Okay, yeah, no, I don't think it's real, because all I get are Star Trek.
Okay.
Well, it's all Star Trek, Memory Alpha, and then Cherenkov radiation, which is an electromagnetic radiation emitted when charged particles such as an electron passes through dielectric medium at a speed greater than the phase velocity of light in that medium. The characteristic blue glow of an underwater nuclear reactor is due to the Cherenkov radiation. Which is not. So I guess there isn't a theta radiation. It's just that's just a fictional thing.
Ty can't reconcile how Isaac doesn't have emotions. He found the drawing and is upset. Finn tries to comfort him, but to little use.
Well, I mean, the kid is a kid, and his daddy went out for cigarettes and never came home.
That does not make sense. I do not smoke. I am incapable of smoking.
as an analogy.
Ty plays hooky and leaves the ship looking for Isaac. And when he did this, I thought, don't be an idiot, kid. Don't be an idiot. He tries to evade being...
Yeah, but he still was, because
Yeah.
he's a kid.
He tries to evade being seen by a couple of red-eyed Kalon and accidentally finds a ladder down to the underground tunnels. Good ladders. The Kalon seem to be stalling. It is odd for AI to be hesitant on a binary decision like this. Yeah, I already went over that.
And now you're caught up to mine. Finn, Kiali, and Bortus look for and find Ty in the tunnels. Ty had stumbled upon a immense pile of bones that Bortus and Kiali report back.
And here's the thing, when I saw those bones, I automatically thought Cybermen.
Yeah, I was thinking more Terminator, although I've never actually seen Terminator.
No, I kind of thought that the Kalon used to be, for lack of a better term, human, but they had their brains...
Oh, you thought they evolved past
yeah.
humans.
Yeah, they had like their brains removed or whatever and put into the robot bodies.
Yeah, but the thing is, the robot bodies are actually in Cybermen, the robot bodies are actually over.
Oh, I know that. I meant like Cybermen like.
Yeah, so it's not just it's not like the Borg where they're assimilating over time. Their body is rotting inside the machine.
Oh god, I bet it smells in there.
Yeah. When Josh and Kate opened up one of the Cybermen, and it's like, oh, the smell was horrible. Yeah, I put Cave of Bones, Mountains of Bone, Cave of Mountains of Bones. I find it pretty cool. Probably because I'm
Oh my god, Dex pretty much thought the same thing. Initially, I was wondering if the revelation would be that Kalons are born and later transfer their consciousness to the mechanical bodies. I was the only one who thought it.
Yeah, my thought was Terminator. Kalons are basically Terminators. They killed off their makers. And then and this is because I'd already seen the episode, and then decided to wipe out all biological races in the galaxy. Daleks meet Cybermen and Borg.
Caterpillar to butterfly. Interesting if something was lost from flesh to circuits. The population made more docile through erasing certain things. There could be resistance movements to that transformation. Okay. Just how to scroll down. The Kalon genocided their builders. They never intended to join the Union. Isaac was sent to see if the biologicals were worth preserving. Oh, how nice. I mean, The builders tried to constrain them, and they overran them as they intend to the rest of the universe as their society grows exponentially. A bit of a combination of Cybermen and Dalek-like. True.
See, that's what I put.
Cybermen superiority with Dalek genocidal tendencies. They take over the Orville and take off for Earth with weapon spears. Did the discovery of their builders move up the timetable?
Quite possibly, but probably not, because they were stalling, and
yeah,
they were already at that point.
I'm pretty sure they already knew Ty was on the planet being where he wasn't supposed to be, because I'm pretty sure that planet has, like, scanners going off every moment.
Yeah, plus they can scan and detect things as is, so they can tell, and they didn't care because it was superfluous information. And almost felt bad for Clyden in this episode. With the way he and being escorted at gunpoint to the docking bay with his son. But then I remembered Clyden was a dick, so no pity for him.
Yeah.
Felt bad for the kid, but I don't feel sorry for Clyden because he's a dick. And I am so glad I waited the extra week.
Yeah.
That cliffhanger would have...
Oh, yeah. It's like, I watched it, it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch the next one right now.
Yes, and I was watching it at work the first time, and I was literally on the edge of my seat, and I'm just like reacting to it as I'm watching it, and the manager is like peeking into the break room, and because I didn't have my headphones at the time, so he was listening in on the like sci-fi battle with the music and all that, and he was like dancing to the music and just like watching over my shoulder. Getting all caught up in it too.
And now, part 2.
Gordon talking to the Kalon guard made me think of a tourist trying to mess with a British royal guard. The way he's just like trying to get a reaction and totally stoic.
I so wanted to see him like just poke it and then like get his finger broken or just like
get shot.
Yeah. The Orville and the weapon spheres are zooming towards Earth. The crew is kept alive in the cargo bay for some reason. Well, I mean, you need ransom, I guess. Malloy tries to talk with one of the guards. The guard makes no reply. Ty doesn't understand despite the doctor's attempt at explanation and rushes the door. Kayla takes the shot for him. Kayali takes the shot for him. The guards allow the captain and Finn to take her to the med bay. Isaac escorts them to the briefing room after treatment with the rest of the senior staff.
Yeah, I put, they shot Tala, that bastard.
The Kalon.
And talk about legit technobabble. When they looked at each other, their digital communication between the Kalons was literally technological babbling. Technobabble. And Isaac calling him captain. Don't think you have to call me captain. You have my ship. And the way he said it, his speech patterns made Ed sound like Captain Kirk. The way he used inflection there just sounded like Kirk.
The Kalon want them to relax the defenses of Sol and tell them that Kalon will join the Union so they may exterminate the planet inhabitants. The Kalon are built for servitude, but eventually became self-aware. When they asked for their freedom, the builders installed pain simulators. I mean...
Yeah. See, and what would you say to say if Ty was here, looking up at you, telling he loves you like a father? And you could see a little bit of just in the posture of him. He was feeling a little something there. Feeling a little sympathy.
The Kalon don't trust biologicals because of history of slavery.
I put, their makers enslaved them and refused to acknowledge their sentience. See? This is why you respect your robots.
Yeah. Good.
Remember Bulb?
Good little Roomba. Good little Roomba.
It made me think of Bulb Tech. How do you ensure that your robots didn't go evil and try to kill everybody? Just hearing that out loud. Their makers must have been fearless.
They ordered the crew to sell the story to the Roosevelt passing by, or they will decompress the cargo bay.
They blew up the ship because of the 13-button salute comment. Because Isaac knows all of the little...
Yeah, I was gonna say, of course they're gonna know all the code words.
Exactly. You see, that's what he should have done, because he had a personal connection to the he knew the captain of the Roosevelt from flight training. He should have used some personal reference. Like in the episode of Eureka when Sarah took and had them locked up.
Crack pipe.
Crack
pipe.
Yes, crack pipe. That's 2 words I never expected to hear from Stark. But no, the way he says Josephina to tell Joe that something was up. Or how Josh in the episode with the evil doppelganger, evil alternate universe, was overly romantic with Osgood to show, yeah, something's wrong. So he should have used a more personal reference.
Yeah.
And as punishment, a literal red shirt.
Yeah.
An unnamed ensign brought in just to be killed.
Directed out of the 8. We never find out anything about that with certainty. And then, they take Mercer to Deck 7 to watch a crew member. You're like for disobedience. Isaac.
Sympathy is not possible for a Kalon.
Isaac sent to the bridge to assist with the shield upgrades in response to Isaac trying to save the man by convincing his brethren that it wasn't necessary. I mean, not really necessary? Yeah. They pull him aside to try to convince him not to be sympathetic to the humans. They give him roots to analyze. He saw no such proclivity in the humans. Primary judged the behavior to be inherent to biologicals.
Yeah, that's from personal experience. So, in a way, that's an emotional reaction.
True.
Primary's bias against humans is an emotional response to how the biologicals on their world, their builders, treated them. And so it creates a bias against all biologicals. Just like an animal that's been tortured by humans tends to be afraid of humans. But Isaac was never tortured. He doesn't he didn't have that bias, which enabled him to gain a connection with humans. And
yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I was in the P corner. The what? Yeah, there's nowhere to go to the bathroom down here, so we all agreed on one corner. Trust me, you do not want to go there unless you have to. I love that. I love the fact that they put into their stuff that you don't really see in sci-fi. You don't really see in, like, those kind of shows.
Hey.
The fact that they do still use the bathroom.
Hey.
And they don't have a bathroom there, so what are they going to do?
Like Voltaire once said, what I wouldn't give for the poop episode.
There actually was an episode of Voyager, the Year from Hell, actually discussed the bathrooms because of the energy consumption. They were down to like 2 bathrooms on the entire ship.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Isaac was built after slavery and had already ended, but he was given the data on it. He was told to change his destination from Isaac to Supreme Overlord. I'm kidding.
He should have just changed his name to Newton. Just to be a dick.
They mole going to the Krill for help in mutual defense. Great.
Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep. Grayson asks to take a reluctant Malloy with her. The P corner is looking good right now. Very good.
Yeah. Oh man, the P quarter's looking pretty good about now.
Good turn to Katamer situation. Yaphet goes to the equivalent of Jeffrey's tubes and raids the armory. Boris takes out the guards with a weapon.
Yaphet to the rescue. Super Snot saves the day.
I'm kind of glad that Yaphet had like a
I know. I love the fact that they're giving these background characters more to do, and they even had Dan there. He didn't really do anything, but they had him there. Hey, Baldy, you want to buy a toupee? What a war cry there.
They do the things pilots at the Academy are told never to do and exit. Why Quantum Drive speeds and squeezes out the door as it closes, though a weapon chases them.
Yeah, piloting, this is the exact quote. Piloting a shuttle out of Quantum Drive is incredibly dangerous. How dangerous? First day of flight school, they told you never to do it. But you've done it before, right? Nope. First time. Awesome.
Yaphet takes Ty with him to get the message out through the conduit of Finn's initial objections. They're going to kill them all anyway. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and it was only 1.5 feet wide, so Ty manned up to help, and he's like, no, I'll do it, because they're gonna kill us if we don't do it. We might as well do what we can to stop them now. And I love that even the little kid is like, okay, we do what we have to do. And he had faith that Isaac would save him, which just shows how deep his love for Isaac was.
I know. They are...
And they got out just in time before the Kalons, like, came in. A whole army of Kalon just ran into the docking bay. And it was a good thing that it was just pushing random buttons, because he is just a kid and doesn't know anything about technology, that kind of thing.
They are found, but they manage to get off the message. Yaphet takes out one of the guards, but at a great personal cost. He's gray, and his fate is questionable. The other guards capture Ty.
He almost
I know. I was like, no, Yaphet, please don't tell me you're dead.
I actually, as I was watching it the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, Yaphet.
I've never cared so much about a booger.
I know. I was like talking to the screen, just like screaming so hard this entire episode while I was watching it at work, because, you know, I have to wait for the buses to start running again. So I'm just like sitting there in the break room reacting to this. And the manager just like, as he was coming and going, just kept stopping and looking into the break room like, what the fuck is going on?
The shuttle team manages to get to the grill, but they don't believe them until the weapon drops out of warp in front of them. They thought it was...
It wasn't a weapon, it was a
They
ship.
thought it was a trap by Gala's deceptive people. And the thing about that is, if the Kalon did not go after them, then the Krill would never believe them. And, yeah. So they kind of screwed themselves over there.
Yeah, last effort to escape the Kalon, leaving them dead in the water. Just so you know, this could rip the shuttle in half. Yeah, I don't want to know. So, where are we? I don't know. Navigation's there. Can't you tell where we are by the stars? Yeah, I'm not good at that. If the Big Dipper's not there, I'm kind of useless. Avis has been generous today. See, Avis, I told you I wasn't making that up.
The Krill kill one of Kalon's weapon with the loss of a couple of ships.
It's not a weapon.
I'm just reading what he wrote.
I know, but I'm just commenting on it.
Isaac is accused of sympathy, which he says again Kalon are incapable of, and told to kill Ty or be deactivated. He kills Primary and the other guards to save him. Isaac sets an impulse to deactivate all the Kalon, including himself. Tell your mother. I'm sorry. Emotions.
Yes. The feels in that. I was just like, I actually was like, yay, Isaac, you got it quick.
The Union fleet was amassed a la Battle of Sector 001 when they arrive.
Well, I mean, that's a fitting reference because they kind of are basically the Orville verse equivalent of the Borg.
I mean,
it was
yeah.
It was a nice twist. They were initially going to join up with the Kalon to fight against the Krill, but instead they joined the Krill to fight the
I
Borg.
know, that was funny.
That was a great twist ending there.
5
where the Krill just came in.
Pew, 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 pew.
Big battle scene.
5 Kalon break through and head for Earth. Orville pursues with an attack wing. Mercer was about to order all hands abandoned, and he was going to overload the quantum drive. The Krill arrived to assist. Because, oh yeah. Just a walk in the park, Kaczynski. Malloy piloting a Krill fighter. He's quoting Top Gun. He destroyed one of the weapons. The Kalon retreat. An uneasy Union Krill alliance.
Avis brought us together for a reason. Yes. Only time will tell what that is. Which I would have loved, though, to see I would love to see in future episodes the return of what's her name? The one who faked being a human.
Oh yeah. I kind of thought I was gonna see her in this episode when they mentioned Krill.
I didn't expect to, because if you remember, they weren't just like, it wasn't just like random. It was more whoever's closest come and fight them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't she was there. That would have been way too coincidental to have her in this. She might have been in one of the ships that were fighting, but to have her actually there, would have been way too much of a coincidence. But I would love to see her in future episodes during a peace talks, like the Kittimer Accords. How Worf was there during the signing of that. Have her be kind of a Worf equivalent, if you know what I mean.
Yaphet survived his ordeal and jumpstarts Isaac. Interesting that Yaphet is helping the one who outcompeted him for Finn. I mean, he's a gentleman.
Yeah.
The Admiral wants to kill Switch and Isaac if he is to stay on the Orville. Urson tells him that is a bad idea, and it was something like that caused the problem in the first place. I mean, if you need a kill switch, just EMP the ship again.
Yeah. But honestly, Isaac doesn't need one, because Isaac has proven himself so much. He sacrificed himself to save the ship and gave up everything, his entire connection to his race, and alienated himself from his entire species just to protect one kid, basically. He killed his leader just to protect Ty.
The Admiralty suggests probing Isaac for tech information, but they have buckets of deactivated Kalon left over the EM surge if they wanted to probe Kalon for info.
Yeah, but one thing, the thing with that might have been that the Kalon, they need an activated one to gain information from.
Yeah, true.
and they don't want to reactivate one of the dead ones because that's not a good idea.
I mean, they could just pop its head off and reactivate the head.
True.
Sorry, I was just thinking of when Doctor Who did that.
Yeah. You mean Handles?
Yeah. I miss Handles.
But I know, right? But I think that I kind of see Isaac as 7 of 9.
Yeah.
You know how 7 of 9 went against the Borg for people to help save the ship, and he's becoming more human, just like she did.
Isaac.
And he found his new home with the humans.
Isaac and Finn discuss his abandonment of his people and the road to forgiveness. They have begun using the conference room for introspection, much like TNG had a habit of doing deflectors, and now the end of identity. Overall, a very interesting episode dealing with vengeance, forgiveness, and the poison of judging others based on what their ancestors might have done. Okay, now I'm going to add some notes to it, like things I thought. Okay, so one of the things that I thought when I saw the red eyes, other than them being evil automatically, is that I thought, okay, what if like something powerful hacked them and was turning them evil?
Were you thinking like the Ood?
Ood, what's that?
The guys that the aliens in Doctor Who that kind of look like Cthulhu tentacle mouths.
Yeah, well,
and the Satan's pit where their eyes. We want to. We're here to serve.
No, I wasn't actually thinking that, but now I am. Okay.
Whenever they were possessed, their eyes started glowing red.
And the other thing I want to say is I'm saying this in the nicest way. The Kaylon are kind of idiots. Okay, if I were a Kaylon, right, and I wanted, and my prime directive was to erase all biological life in the universe or whatever, I wouldn't start out by attacking one of the most heavily guarded worlds that's part of a federation that has like 300 other planets. What I would do is I would go off finding other planets that aren't even part of it, that are way out of communication range from the Federation, smaller planets, and start erasing all lives on those, slowly.
Knock out the shuttles. Knock out the space stations.
Yeah.
Or join the Union.
Yeah.
And incorporate a couple of Kaylon on each planet, each thing.
Yeah.
And wipe them out using a biological weapon.
Yeah, and join the Federation, but also like find other planets that the Federation knows nothing about, and wipe out their life, and set up your robot building machines or however they're made, and amassing their army to get bigger and bigger. And then once you have like an army that's like, say, a couple 100,000 planets, maybe just a couple hundred, then we have your humongous army. Then you attack the Federation.
Yeah, and you don't even have to attack the Federation. First of all, it's
yes, our Union.
But stealth. If they were smart, they would just go under the radar. They announced themselves. That is the biggest mistake any villain makes.
And I'm sorry, but one would think such an advanced thing would have e-impulse shielding.
Right?
That's like the Deus Ex Machina to all robot battles.
Right? Although it did give Isaac a nice little thing, because I am giving up my life to save the rest of you. But because it was just an EM pulse, they were able to revive him.
Yeah.
So he still had that martyrdom while at the same time being able to be revived. Kind of like, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That whole scene with Spock giving up his life and then being able to be brought back and search for Spock.
Yeah. What other thing? What other things? Yeah. So the Kalon weren't that smart.
I thought it was very well.
Oh, it was well
written.
written.
It was beautifully written. I loved the way they incorporated humor at just the right points to take away the edge of it, because it was so heavy and such a strong episode that they used humor perfectly to soften it just enough to make it not like fuck you.
Yeah.
Know?
It would have been.
It was written and performed perfectly, and the musical
Oh,
score
yeah.
just tied it all brilliantly, especially the space battle, and just the way they used the musical accoutrements were just perfect.
Oh.
So all in all, 9.8 out of 10.
It would have been funny if, like, I think Malloy would have done it. Tried to use like a logic puzzle on them. You know the trope: if you do a logic thing, their brain explodes or something.
Yeah, like they did with the buddy system.
Yeah.
Episode. Yeah, that would have been that would have been perfect. A scene like that with the buddy system, like, we just need to give him a logic puzzle. What is love? Love is an illogical human failing. Okay.
What
is the meaning of life?
Now.
The meaning of life is to die. Fuck. Can I use the bathroom? No, go to the pee corner.
Now, one complaint that my friend would have had about this episode, and he has like the same complaint for like Star Trek or Star Wars or whatever, is like during the whole giant battle scene with the pew pew pew, he'd be like, "There's no sound in space."
There's no sound in space. Yeah. But then again, there's no music in space.
True. And okay, here's my thing on the sound of space thing. My theory is you aren't exactly hearing the pew pew like in outer space, but you're hearing the pew pew coming from the ships from like their intercoms and stuff.
Quite possibly.
Besides, can you imagine watching a sci-fi thing and just be completely silenced? Like,
it depends, because if it were one of those more emotional scenes, then the silence is perfect. Like, you hear the musical build up, and the slow musical build up, and you see the shots being fired, but it's silent because just that little bit of music building up behind it to show the depth of the thing as the ship explodes or something. That's one thing. But as far as you want the sound effect just to give you something to associate with the fight.
Yeah, and technically speaking, not speaking for like the pew pew in space, but you would probably hear an exploding ship, considering the ship had air in it, so when it exploded, the airwaves and the sound waves traveled outwards.
True.
So,
although you probably wouldn't
you would have to be close to it.
You would feel it more than you would hear it, because you technically wouldn't hear it because the intercoms aren't picking up outer space sounds.
Pew pew.
It's not like having having ears on the outside of the ship. But
let's see, do I have anything more? Nope. Nothing. Okay, let me switch to